Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am back with another video in my Simple Sets series. We're going to do a 2-for-1 card project featuring some of the new November 2023 products from Pinkfresh Studio. I'm going to use the Nothing But the Best Floral product suite here. It has that floral image as well as coordinating dies and layering stencils. And I'm also going to use the Beyond Happy sentiment set. And I love the Beyond Happy sentiment set because it includes all these fabulous sentiments that are great year round, but there is also a coordinating die set to cut out each one of these. And I'm going to do a little two-tone stamping on my sentiment today. So I'm going to start out by stamping this large floral image onto some white cardstock. I initially placed this in my Misty stamping tool in the center, and I thought, well, I really don't know what color I want the outline to be yet. So I'm going to move this into the corner of my Misty so that I can replace this later and restamp over the top if I need to. And I'm starting out by stamping this beautiful floral cluster in the Pinkfresh Studio Misty Coast ink. This is a really light gray. In fact, it may be a little bit difficult for you to see on screen, but in real life, it's there. And I can see it. I just need that outline there so that I can line up the layering stencils. And I am using my Waffle Flower 8.5 by 8.5 grip mat to hold my cardstock and my stencils in place as I add the color to this image. So I'm starting out with the first stencil and I'm lining that up. You can see I'm pressing the outer edges of the stencil onto the grip mat there to hold that all into place. And I'm going to kind of speed through the layering stencil process. You can see the colors that I'm using there. Yesterday, I used the new products from Pinkfresh Studio to create kind of a winter holiday themed project. So today I really wanted to take some of the products from this release and show you that they can be used year round. And I am just working my way through these stencils. I went in the order of the stencils and I'm just adding color. So my color palette is Cherry Blossom, Peony, I have Mimosa and Sunkissed. And then I'm also using bay leaf and Spanish moss for my greens today. It creates a beautiful color combination for spring, actually for year round. And once I have that all stenciled and colored in, it looks beautiful, even with this gray outline. And part of me kind of wishes that maybe I would have just left it like this. Maybe I'll recreate a card. But I decided that I wanted a bold black outline because I'm going to go for a graphic look on this card. So I placed it back into the corner of my Misty and I prepped the area using a powder tool. And now I'm inking up using the Pinkfresh Studio Hybrid ink. This is Detail Black. I'm inking up that entire image and I'm stamping right over the top of the previous stamped image and all of the stenciling that I've done. I'm going to use my stamp press tool to make sure that I get a good impression. And then I'm going to remove this from my Misty stamping tool and I'm going to add a layer of clear embossing powder over this entire image so that I have kind of a clear, glossy, raised area around the outline of my image. If you've never tried using clear embossing powder over your black ink, I really highly suggest you try it. It really brings that black ink to life and it's so beautiful. So I'm just going to heat set that really quickly. And then I did go ahead and stamp this image in black ink the same way, but I didn't do any stenciling on it. So it's just the black outlined image. But I also added the clear embossing powder over that and heat set that and set that to the side. You can see it in the upper right-hand corner of the screen right now. But I wanted to go ahead and work on my sentiment. So I have this Just a Note sentiment. This is from the Beyond Happy stamp set and it has a coordinating die, which I absolutely love. And we're going to do a little masking. So we're going to start out by masking off the word note. That's the bottom line of this sentiment. So I have the masking tape over that area. I've inked up the top portion with some Detail Black Hybrid ink from Pinkfresh Studio and I'm stamping that onto my white cardstock and just pressing that down. Then I am going to mask off the opposite. So I'm going to mask off the top portion of that sentiment, the part that says Just A, and I'm going to ink up the bottom portion with Cherry Blossom ink from Pinkfresh Studio. Now, in order to do my masking, I'm just using a little Post-it tape over the areas that I don't want the ink to transfer to. And then before I stamp, I'm going to remove that Post-it tape from the stamp and stamp it onto my cardstock. That will keep the ink that's on the actual Post-it tape from transferring over to my cardstock. And that gives me a two-toned sentiment there. Now I can use all of the coordinating dies to die cut my images. So I have my sentiment here and I'm using the coordinating die with that. And then I have this Nothing But the Best floral image that has all of the color on it. I'm using the coordinating die and running all of these through my die cut machine and kind of setting these aside. Now remember, I'm doing a 2-for-1 today, so I went ahead and created a second one of those sentiments. And I'm also die cutting some extra plain white cardstock pieces of all of these things so that I can layer them up and add a little bit of kind of heft and weight to them. Now, in order to do a 2-for-1, I wanted to cut these floral images at an angle. So I'm kind of finding the angle that I like by laying it on my card front, and I'm using a small ruler to just draw a pencil line across that floral image. And then I'm going to layer up the colored image and the black and white image. So I have both of these die cut images together, and I'm going to place them into my Tim Holtz Tonic guillotine trimmer and trim along that diagonal line that I created. So I'm cutting both of these floral images at the same time so that I can get the same angle and the same line on both images. So you can see I'm just popping that handle down there so that I can get through both of those. And then I'm going to adhere these onto a white piece of cardstock. Now, I kind of did this in a weird, wonky way. It worked out okay. But there are probably better ways to do this. So I'm taking the plain white die cut piece of this floral image and I'm adding liquid glue to the entire thing. This is where I should not have done it. I should have flipped this black and white piece over and added the glue to the back side of this, but I'll do that in the next time. For now, I added liquid glue all over the plain white portion. I adhered the stamped portion to it and then I trimmed it down. Now I did get a little bit of glue on my scissors, but these scissors from Spellbinders are amazing and it wiped right off. So now I'm going to take that little piece that I cut off and I'm going to add the colored piece. So I'm going to do like a split image of these florals and half of it's going to be in black and white and the other half is going to be colored. So to assemble this all together, I've die cut a piece of ivory cardstock. It's a fun little A2 layering set that I have from Spellbinders. And I am going to take a piece of blush pink cardstock and kind of run it through the middle at that angle that kind of matches the cut line of my floral image. So I'm just taking the strip of pink cardstock, adding some tape runner adhesive to the back and then laying it at an angle on this ivory piece here. And I'm just using my floral pieces for reference at this point. I don't have them glued down. And once I have that pink piece where I want it, I can go ahead and flip this over and trim off the excess. Now I'm working on 2 cards at the same time. So you're going to see 2 of these ivory pieces with the pink strips. Just keep in mind that I'm doing this on both of these pieces. Now I also have a piece of silver glitter cardstock that I've trimmed down to about 3/16 of an inch. And I added some liquid glue to the back and I'm just laying that in the center of that pink stripe that I added to this ivory piece. And once I get that in place, I'm going to go ahead and flip this over again and trim off the excess. And now it's time to add the floral pieces. So I'm adding liquid glue to the back of this piece that is the lower portion that has the stenciling on it. And I'm butting it right up against that pink cardstock strip that I've added to my ivory piece. And then I'm going to take the upper portion, that's the black and white piece, and I'm going to adhere it kind of where it lines up with that angle and with the floral piece below and adhere that onto that ivory piece. Now I have my sentiments and I have stacked up a couple of layers for each of these and I'm adding them onto that pink cardstock strip using some liquid glue. And then I'll take this entire ivory piece with all of my florals and my sentiment and my strips, and I'm going to add it onto a light gray card base using some foam adhesive And you can see I have both of my card projects in view right now, where you can see I've done kind of the opposite. So this is a great way to create a simple set of cards that coordinate together. You're getting a 2-for-1 with your stamping and stenciling of that large floral image. And it really does create a beautiful and striking look. So you can let me know in the comments below, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the colored image or the stenciled image at the top with the black kind of butting up against it of the sentiment? Or do you prefer the colored image at the bottom with the color of the sentiment all kind of grouped together? I think I like the first one here that's kind of layered on the top where the pink part overlaps the black and white part. I just think it's so striking. But let me know in the comments below. Now, as always, I will have links to the featured products used in these projects in the description at YouTube. So if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check there. Or you can head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. I'll have that linked below as well. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, a complete list of supplies, as well as some information on an Instagram hop celebrating this brand new product release from Pinkfresh Studio. Join us over there for your chance to win prizes and be inspired. As always, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed these projects, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of the card making and paper crafting video tutorials I share here. Thanks again for hanging out with me today. I'm so glad you're here, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.